Hi there, I'm Katie.
And I'm Brandon.
And welcome to Spectre Space, the show where every single week we talk about something ghastly, ghoulish, or mythical. Quite the phenomena we have in this world, so we're going to talk about it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about poltergeists. Poltergeists are a type of spirit that make noises by moving objects or by just making random screaming sounds, just to freak people out. Poltergeist is a German word, and, well, I guess it wouldn't sound right if I'm saying it with an English accent.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist!
I feel like it's like poltergeisten.
No, German's angry.
Well,
Poltergeist.
Do you know geist or geist?
Yeah, ghost.
Is that what that means?
I think so. So poltergeist is a German word for noisy spirit or loud spirit. So we have compiled a list of some videos for us to watch. So Yama Q is the one who has the ghost problem. And if you came here from the Happy Dead on TikTok, you know exactly which video I'm talking about.
Yeah, he throws a boiling pot of water on a wailing ghost in his backyard. I guess it's not really, I don't know. Is it his backyard? It's on the street.
It's like front yard. It's near his house.
We'll play the video.
Yeah, so apparently every single night, or almost every single night, usually kind of like clockwork, Yama Q hears some strange moaning sounds. That was really good. Do it again.
That's me after I like a bad night of Taco Bell.
Yeah. So Yama Q hears this moaning, so one night he decides to boil a pot of water, bring the water outside to his yard, and he tosses the water onto this ghost, and he uses like a thermal camera, but you'll see it in the video. I'm not too sure how he's able to find this ghost, but apparently it hits the ghost because it goes from to ah! Yeah.
I think you could hear it though. Like
yeah.
It sounds like he gets closer to it, and then it sounds like it's right on top of him when he tosses it.
Yeah.
So I guess you could probably hear where it's at.
And it works because once he tosses that boiling pot of water, it stops.
Yeah.
So he's been documenting this phenomena that has been happening in his life on YouTube, and I have one of these videos that you can see right here. So let me...
声が聞こえてます。
Yep, so he just tossed the boiling water on this spirit, and the moaning is now gone. And yeah. So on that TikTok that you shared on the Happy Dead, everyone was theorizing that maybe the spirit was from a person who died in the bathtub before Yama Q lived in that house.
Yeah, that was the theory.
Yeah, so this video that we just watched, later on, Yama Q begins to explain that there might be another theory to this.
Oh, really?
And yes, and it's very interesting, actually, and I think it kind of makes sense. The voices could belong to a spirit of someone who is buried in the temple that Yama Q lives next to. So you saw that street, that was kind of his front/backyard.
Yeah.
Up that hill is a temple, an ancient temple. So in Japan, kind of in the region that Yama lives in, there was an ancient practice called Kukitachi. Kukitachi is an ancient trial that judges would use for a supposedly guilty or not guilty person.
That's why it's fun.
This is basically like divine judgment, leaving the judgment up to the gods. So Kukitachi is when you have a boiling pot of water, you take the accused, they dip the accused hand into the boiling pot of water, and if they get burnt, they are guilty, and if they do not get burnt, then they are innocent.
What? Like, what do they think when they accidentally, like, they're cooking macaroni and cheese, and they accidentally, like, burn themselves?
Like, I'm guilty.
Are they guilty of something? That's so dumb. So.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need to, like, understand science, right? You just stick your hand in a boiling pot of water and be like, oh, fire hot. Fire make water hot. And then it's, you learned fire equals hot.
Well, Not back then, I guess. Yeah, so...
It's like fire hot equals crime.
Yeah, so the theory is that the accused people who are found guilty of this practice are then executed for their crimes, most likely. Maybe some of them lived, I'm not 100% sure. But if the crime was severe enough, they would get executed for it. And they were buried near the temple where all of this took place, the Kukitachi temple. So the spirit could have been a guilty spirit who was put to death after they did the Kukitachi as their judgment. Okay. So when they're faced with boiling water, they immediately freak out and they scream as if once again being put on trial, which I assume was probably really traumatizing. So Yama Q kind of explains this in his video. He has it translated to English. Nice. If you're interested in more of that, definitely take a look at Yama Q's channel because he documents all of this stuff and it never gets less horrifying.
I think the banging one was like the creepiest. I don't know if you saw that one where there was like banging going on in his like bathroom. So.
Just classic poltergeist. Poltergeisting. Poltergeisting!
Poltergeisting.
So the next video that I'm going to show you is another kind of poltergeist, just creepy paranormal video that I found. So this is from the Horton Mine. So this guy's YouTube channel is called Exploring Abandoned Mines and Unusual Places. And he just kind of documents him exploring all of these abandoned mines. It's terrifying. I tip my hat to him because he goes completely alone and sometimes at night.
Yeah, that's a no for me.
That's crazy. And this isn't even one of the craziest videos of his that I'm going to show you. This video has over 4 million views, and it was published July 8th, 2013.
Here's a shot looking back towards the entrance. I'm a little bit further in, and looking down the tunnel here. I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there. Don't know if you can see that in the video or not.
So for those of you who are just listening, the video that we just watched, he's walking into this mine and there's a ton of chains hanging from the ceiling from old mining equipment. And he's walking deeper and deeper into the tunnel. He turns around to look at the entrance and he keeps saying to himself, maybe I should leave. Maybe I shouldn't go any further. Because as soon as he turns back around to look deeper into the mine, 2 chains in the distance, had to be 10 feet, 15 feet away from him.
2 chains wasn't down there, but there were 2 chains hanging from the ceiling, if that's what you mean. Yeah, so there was 2 chains in the cave and they just, he panned his camera that way and then they were just swinging.
They're completely swinging on their own.
Yeah, really weird.
So yeah, 2 chains hanging from the ceiling. They're swinging back and forth and the guy is zooming in on these chains. None of the other chains are moving.
Yeah, it's just 2 of them.
Yeah. One of them is kind of swinging, just kind of side to side, not too bad. But the other one is violently swinging back and forth.
And then he also says in the text it says, the ambient temperature also seemed to suddenly drop all around me at this point. And I felt even stronger negative presence ahead in the tunnel.
Yeah, so at this point, he decides he's not going to go any further into the mine, which, that's probably a good idea. That was the Horton Mine video. Now I'm going to pull up another one of his videos from the Woldeck Mine. This one right here terrified me.
Is this the same guy?
Same guy.
Okay.
Same guy, same channel. Oh, and one more thing about the Horton Mine, the chain swinging video that I just showed. This footage was featured on a Science Channel show called Strange Evidence. And on that show, a team of experts from various scientific fields, they investigated the footage, and they ultimately concluded that the footage was legit. It wasn't tampered with, nothing like that. So for all we know, it could have definitely been a spirit.
Or another person who just hit the chain.
Or another person, but it's more fun to think about spirits.
Yeah,
Life is a lot more fun if you believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
Anyway, So this next video is of the Waldeck mine. And this video, he's actually just walking through this mine just to show how good his new flashlight is. And you'll see it in the video. He's just walking through the mine, showing off the different settings on this awesome new flashlight that actually I kind of want. So he definitely sold it, that's for sure. But weird paranormal stuff begins to happen in the background as he's walking through this mine.
Do you hear that? Sounds like, what, is that wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Do you hear that? It stopped. Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but wow. I've heard some weird stuff in mines, but that is definitely creepy. I don't know what that is. So let's get out of here and head back out to the portal. That was weird.
That sounds
crazy.
That sounds like demons plotting your death.
Or just like a group of psychopathic people in there.
Yeah, it sounds like a cult.
Yeah.
Here, try it with me. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like these demons are just chanting for this man's death. And he's like, oh, that's not the wind. You think?
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is, if it was a group of people, I don't think any of them would be able to understand each other. Because they're like all talking at the same time.
Yeah.
It sounded like a person was just like a group of people were just like snakes.
Yeah, it could have been
put together.
Yeah, so this is another
Snake
mine
Man.
that he's exploring, and it looks like it's really like decrepit. Could have just been from the age of it, because he said it like closed maybe in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
But maybe something horrible happened in that mine, and there were a ton of miners that unfortunately lost their lives in that mine.
Maybe.
And maybe they still haunt it to this day.
Maybe mines are just closer to hell.
Maybe. Deeper underground.
route.
You never know.
It's hilarious that he
Yeah.
keeps talking about the flashlight.
I know. That's like when I was looking through the comments under this video, everyone's just like, oh, I had to pull up my favorite comment. It's so funny. Those sounds were out of this world, just like the deal we're getting when purchasing this flashlight.
20% off.
Like this man, he is all by himself. It is in the middle of the night. If you watch this video, the full video, you see that he's driving out to this mine in the middle of like a thunderstorm, pitch black. He's exploring through this mine with this flashlight. He's talking about the flashlight. He hears the crazy whispers, and he's like, huh, that's scary. It sounds like snakes or like birds. It's not the wind. What is that? Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
Well, anyway,
20%
this
off.
flashlight is bomb diggity, and he just keeps on going.
It's pretty funny.
I respect him.
Yeah.
If there was a zombie apocalypse, I am going to contact this man and make sure that he is on my apocalypse team.
The A team.
He's not afraid of anything, apparently, because he keeps on going into mines.
And he's got good flashlights.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the dark.
Don't be afraid of the dark, you know?
I wonder how many flashlight sells.
Right?
I keep thinking about this flashlight.
I'm going to have to get me a through light.
20% off throughlight.com.
No relation. Not sponsored. We just
Spectrespace.
really are passionate about this flashlight that we have never used in our lives. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
I've never heard or thought I heard a ghost before. Like, never.
I have multiple times.
Why aren't you lucky?
No, I'm not.
I even try to I try to like provoke ghosts and stuff. And like, I feel like I've never really had like a crazy experience.
They like me. I don't know why.
Yeah, they do like you.
My job, as I might have mentioned a few videos before this, the place that I work at is very haunted. And I am apparently the one that they consistently bully. I am bullied by these spirits. And the craziest stuff happened last night. So I'm going to tell that story.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's pretty crazy.
It is so crazy. So normally weird things have happened inside of the place that I work at. I will hear rocks falling. Sometimes I have heard disembodied voices in the distance, like speaking, having a conversation, or just moaning, kind of like, oh, something like that. That's happened before. And I just, general creepiness inside of that place. Well, last night, it all really escalated. As soon as I get into that place, I am explaining to my group the history of the place, and all of a sudden I hear a rock falling behind me. We all hear it. We turn around. We're just like, what the heck was that? And I was like, I don't know. Did anybody else hear that? They're like, yeah, was it you? I was like, no. And they're like, oh, weird. So we continue on. Keep in mind, once I get down into this place, there's a certain rock that I stand on, and it's a pretty small rock. I stand there, and I usually take a look at the rock before I step onto it, so that way I know where it is, because it's dark in this place. When I get back to the first room to conclude the tour, once we are about to leave, I step up on that same exact rock that I always stand on, and there is a pair of old leather gloves covered in mud just laying there.
And they weren't there before?
They were not there before.
Because you stepped on that rock before, right?
Yep, I always step on the rock. I have my light with me. I can see the rock that I always step onto. Nothing was there when I first got into this place. I come back, I'm about to leave, I step up on the same exact rock, and there they are, the gloves, just laying like this, covered in mud.
Creepy.
And at first I think they're belonging to like some cavers that went through there. But those aren't caving gloves. Like, you don't use old leather gloves to cave with.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, they were old leather. Some parts were like really tattered and stuff, and they were just covered in mud, and they weren't there before, and nobody else was inside of that place while I had me and my group in there.
Really? You were the only person in there at the time?
Yeah.
Because I was actually thinking, like, what if there was like a motorcycle rider?
No. Even then, these gloves are covered in mud.
They could have just been stepped on. But like you said, I guess nobody else has been through there.
Just the palms.
And the weird part is you said that they were like laying.
Yeah, so the palms were laying face up, like really, literally looks like somebody took them off and then gently placed them down on the rocks like this.
You should have kept them. I wish you took a picture.
They might be cursed. I don't know. I'm a little scared. I always try to look for logic in things, and when I can't find logic, that's when I start to think, okay, maybe ghosts.
Ghost glove.
Maybe it's a ghost glove.
I was thinking too, like, what if the gloves were like above you? Like there was an old caver up there and he just like left his gloves. And just like how the rock fell, maybe the gloves were like attached to like the rock or fell with the rock.
The ceiling is flat.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's flat limestone.
Yeah. That is really weird.
I can't explain
I think the weirdest thing is that they were like facing you. That's like the weirdest thing. It was like you were meant to find them.
Because I step up on the rock and they're just laying there like this, and I'm like, those weren't there before.
The ghost wanted you to have them.
Yeah, and I asked
your little goodbye gift.
I asked my group. I was just like, hey, did anybody leave their extremely muddy gloves there? They're like, no, those weren't there before. And I'm like, oh, great. So yeah, lots of creepy stuff. I might have a spirit attached to me. It's fine. They haven't done anything crazy yet.
No, you're good. You don't bring it home.
That we know of.
I've never noticed.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
Ghost, turn off that light.
It didn't turn off.
We're good. So I have a theory for Yama Q and how he could fake. Well, actually, all of them, I guess, how they could fake it. Because I'm an audio major. Well,
That's
I have a
true.
degree in audio, I guess. I got a whole ass degree. But, I mean, it'd be super easy to fake. In your video editing software, audio editing software, you could just throw down a couple layers of... Like, I could do it right now. And then I could also add, like, cave ambiance. And then I could also add, like, thunder. And then I could add all this stuff. And you could just add a bunch of layers of just noises. So, I mean, Yama Q could have just added, like, a... sound effect. Yeah, just layered it over his video. It's not too hard to do.
There is another video that I contemplated putting into this episode, but once I showed it to Brandon, he's like, nah, that's definitely faked. So I think I actually...
Okay, but wait, I'll give Yama Q the benefit of the doubt because the dynamics of him getting closer, meaning like it gets louder as he gets closer to it, and then, you know, backs off a little bit when he gets, you know, farther away. And then I couldn't really tell like directionally where it was coming from exactly, but I mean, that's all stuff you can control, you know, in your software or whatever. But his camera audio sounded, you know, pretty believable, I guess.
Yeah.
The thing was, though, is that it sounded like he was on a GoPro, which has a very unique sound. It sounds like shit. That's what a GoPro sounds like. And the mic quality could have been like, well, I guess he could have two mics, his phone and a GoPro. But yeah, the screams didn't sound like they're going through a GoPro.
Yeah.
I wish I had one so then I could, you know, do a little test of it, but definitely doesn't sound like a GoPro. Yeah, you would have to have another microphone or his. I know he has his phone, and that's what he plugged his thermal camera into because it's like a separate like little USB slot thing.
That's just a whole lot of effort to fake something like that.
Right.
I mean, I guess for views.
You look at his views, and it's like, this might be worth it. Yeah, right.
So this other video, we've kind of debunked it. So first we're going to listen to it with the normal playback speed, and then we're going to slow it down, and you'll see what we're talking about. All right, and then we're going to speed it up.
Yeah, it's just crying.
Yeah, so now that we've sped it up, you can definitely hear it's a recording of a baby crying.
Okay, wait, I actually know how to recreate that exact, like, ghostly effect.
Yeah?
So you could just take two clips, like the same audio file, you reverse one of them, and then you play them both at the same time. So one's going in reverse and one's going forward. It sounds super weird.
Yeah, so does that sound like what happened in this clip?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think you did that? Maybe.
I
don't know.
I guess
I
maybe.
did just notice, like I watched this video before, but I just now noticed that there was like something moving on
like
the ground of the basement. So this video takes place in this guy's basement where he keeps hearing all of these weird sounds, supposedly. And yeah, he's got the camera facing his basement. All you can see is just a door with like a concrete floor. And there's like something on the ground that's just kind of moving around like a can. Yeah, it sounds like metal scraping against it, just like throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, it's very weird.
I don't know if that's connected, but
yeah, it's definitely creepy. I was just also thinking too, like with the sound being real, like what if like the ghost dimension is just our dimension but like out of phase.
Out of phase.
Like meaning we're in like two different like realms, I guess, is what you would kind of say. You know what I mean?
The multiverse.
It's like we're both kind of alive. Like it might actually not even be a dead person. It could just be like the multiverse, like you were saying, but we're just not in sync with that like time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like think of like waves, and like this is like in sync, and like this is like out of sync. Like we both like dip down. There's like
just
nothing.
Kind of going like
it's
this.
It's a valley. Yeah. We're constantly out of phase.
Maybe.
That would make sense too. Why it's like slower. Maybe their universe kind of just goes a little slower. What if like one universe goes backwards? So you start from death and you go to birth. Just complete inverse of
how
like,
would that work?
I don't know.
What
And you just get like a glimpse of it. What's that?
What would be the point of that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wait.
What's the point of anything?
Okay, that's a little too deep
Why does
for me right
the
now.
world go forward, or we perceive it to go forward? In another universe, it could just be as normal to go backwards.
So in that universe, how are people born?
I don't know. Like, why does anything have to work the way it does? Why does time have to... It could just go backwards.
Okay.
You're born to die, you die to be born. I don't know. I'm kind of just throwing out words.
Just throwing out words, throwing out theories and stuff.
They mean something.
Unfortunately, I don't have really a big theory about ghosts. I don't know how it all works.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm pretty sure ghosts and like spirits and stuff can't kill people though, because I feel like there'd be a lot of people in this world dead if ghosts could actually kill people.
Yeah. I also feel like there'd be a lot of ghosts if everybody could be a ghost.
Right? Like, are there ghost dogs?
A ghost flea.
A ghost cat?
A ghost gnat.
A ghost rat?
A ghost bat.
See, like, would there be ghost animals or something? Oh, maybe, like, you know how sometimes you feel like an invisible itch? Like, all of a sudden your back itches just out of nowhere?
It's a ghost fly.
It's a ghost fly landing on you.
That's it. You cracked the code.
I cracked the code.
Ghost flies.
Like I said, if you are interested in any of these videos that we just watched. We will link them in the bio so that way you can check them out. But thank you guys so much for joining us this week on Spectre Space. We hope you enjoyed. If you would like to see more of this content, definitely subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you never miss out on any of our videos. If you'd like to see some of our other social medias such as TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot, even our merch shop, go down to the link in the bio. See our link tree. That'll take you to all of our different sites and whatnot.
She made all the merch. She drew it all.
I did!
Yeah, it's really good.
Anyway, guys, thank you. Bye!
Thank you. Bye!